All right, good morning, everybody. It's not even 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'm already being hella loud as. I'm not going to say that word. Okay, so this video will help you add and subtract integers or whole numbers that are either positive or negative. If you already know how to do this, you can go ahead and get started on your IXL assignment, but if not, you can stay here and watch. First example is 3 plus a negative 2. Last year, y'all used number lines to determine what the value of this expression is. You start off at 3, and then since you're adding two negatives, that means you're moving 2 towards the left. 1, 2, which would leave you at 1. So this expression is equal to 1. In the second example, I'm going to show you how to add these two negative numbers using counters. Is that what they're called? Anyways, a negative 3 can be expressed as 3 negatives. And since we're adding, we can add 4 more negatives. So let me ask you, homie, how many total negatives do you have? 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's equal to negative 7. Let me actually keep things consistent and box all of our answers. The third example, negative 4 plus 5. I'm going to use the plus and minuses model here to determine what the value of this is. So we have 4 negatives, and we're adding 5. That's a positive 5. So I'm going to drop 5 plus signs. Now, a lot of you might think this might be negative 9 or positive 9, but in fact, I'm sure you know this, a positive and a negative cancel. This cancels, this cancels, this cancels. So you are left with a 1, a big old 1. And then last but not least, 4 plus 5. There's not much work needed to be there. Adding integers is doable for everybody. I'm not going to say it's easy because it's not easy for everybody, but I think it's doable for anybody with the right support. But subtracting gets a little bit trickier. 4 minus 7. Because the 7 is bigger than the 4, the value of this will definitely be negative. Now there's two different ways we can approach this. We can approach this using the number line model, or we can approach this using the tile method. I will do it both ways. Using the number line model, here's 0, here's 4, and I'm just going to go ahead and mark the other numbers, 3, 2, 1. The number line model, you start off at 4, and you're taking away positive 7. So instead of moving towards the right, in this direction, you're going to be moving in that direction because you're taking away. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And if you were to write the other numbers in there, you would be at negative 3. Similarly, if you were to apply this, if you were to do the plus and the minus tile, you would start off with 4 positives, but you're taking away 7 of them. 7 positives. Notice how you don't have 7 positives to take away. You just don't. You only have 4. So what you gotta do is, watch this. I'm gonna add a plus and a minus sign. What does that equal? A plus and a minus sign. It's a 0. So I haven't actually changed the value of this expression. I've simply added a 0. So you can think of this as 4 plus 0, which is still 4. But I'm going to add 2 more zeros, wink, wink, so I can have at least 7 positives. So now I can fully subtract 7 positives. And guess what happens when I take away 7 positives? I'm left with 3 negatives. Pretty awesome, right? No? Okay, that's fine. Second one, 4 minus a negative 9. This gets a little bit trickier, especially using a number line, because you're subtracting a negative. And so people get confused as to which direction you're supposed to go. And I'll be honest, using the tiles, the plus and the minus signs also can get a bit confusing here. So something Mr. Gomez probably taught you last year, and I know for a fact Virgil knows, is the keep, change, flip method. This allows you to turn any subtraction problem into an addition problem. So let me write that down. K, C, F. So K stands for you keep the first number. C means you change the sign. So this minus becomes a plus, and then the -9 becomes a +9, right? You just change the sign. So this expression becomes 4 plus 9, which we know what that is. 4 plus 9 is 13. And you can do this with any or every single subtraction problem. If you don't like to subtract, you can always add, right? You're changing your outlook on life. Instead of looking at the negative side of things, you're looking at the positive side of things. It's not even 8 o'clock. I need coffee. No, I don't. Okay, -5 minus 9. Let's do the KCF method on it. Let's change this into an addition problem. So we keep the first number, and we're subtracting, so that becomes a plus, but is that a -9 or a +9 originally? That's originally a +9. So the opposite of a +9 is a -9. So -9 plus a -5, well, that's just two negatives. That's a -14. And last but not least, we have a -6 minus a -7. Can somebody turn off their car? Thank you. So once again, we keep the first number, we change the minus sign to a plus, and then the opposite of a -7 is a +7. So this becomes -6 plus 7. And from here, you can go ahead and take it any direction you want. You can either add these in your head, you can use a number line, or you can draw the tiles out. Just make sure you actually count them correctly. That's a 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and you're left with a 1. Please reach out to me if you have any questions. I'd be more than happy to help, okay? Stay safe, drink water, and wash your hands.